Hi, I'm San Diego family law attorney Brian A. Victor, and welcome to my 16th podcast episode. As I have mentioned in my previous podcast episodes, listenership has increased with each subsequent podcast I have recorded. As a reminder, if you are not a current subscriber to my podcast, please make sure to go to the iTunes store and subscribe so you don't miss any important podcasts regarding child custody and divorce issues. You can also go to my YouTube page to listen to any prior episodes you may have missed, and also to re-listen to any podcast episodes focusing on a particular topic of interest to you. You can also go to my Yelp page at Law Offices of Brian A. Victor to read other important insights. As always, remember the information provided in this podcast is to inform rather than to provide legal advice. For this podcast episode, I am going to discuss the topic of co-parenting with an unwilling co-parenting parent. I've spoken on this issue of co-parenting a multitude of times in my previous podcast episodes. The big reason for this is the overwhelming importance of co-parenting in a divorce or child custody situation. In fact, co-parenting is one of the biggest issues that is discussed when I first meet with prospective clients. I hear time and time again how the other parent is unwilling to work with the individual sitting in front of me and how it has harmed their child in various ways. Therefore, I'm going to discuss some of the pitfalls associated with bad co-parenting skills as well as how to best resolve the situation when co-parenting is lacking. First, co-parenting has been an issue with couples divorcing and or ending a dating relationship when children are involved, most likely as long as there has been divorce. One reason for this is due to people's inability to communicate and work well together, which is a major factor for couples divorcing. Communication is a big key for making a relationship be successful. It is unfortunate when people are unable to communicate among themselves to make a relationship last, and even more unfortunate when there are children involved. A major pitfall to effective co-parenting is when there is resentment among the parents. Unfortunately, I saw this occur far too often when I worked for family court services in San Diego, recommending parenting plans to family court judges. Much too often, I would have the couple before me complaining about each other, rather than just focusing on even one positive aspect as to why they decided to get together and have children. What parents fail to realize too often is the second pitfall of ineffective co-parenting, which is children are aware of this resentment. This turns a lack of co-parenting into an issue the children have to deal with. This in turn can affect the children's school performance, emotional health, and if left untreated, could begin to affect them physically. Another pitfall of ineffective co-parenting is when parents make negative comments about each other in front of their children. This teaches children that it is okay to say bad things about other people because they see their parents, whom they love, exhibiting this behavior. What parents fail to realize is that they are displaying negative behaviors as a result of their lack of co-parenting skills. Again, bad parenting skills can negatively affect children as they may not learn how to appropriately speak to others, especially those of whom they are in a relationship with. Additionally, I can't tell you how many times when interviewing children, I have heard the disgust they feel for the parent who speaks negatively about their other parent. If this doesn't make you sad, it should, because this is something children deal with when their parents display ineffective co-parenting skills in front of them. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this podcast. However, I will discuss how to turn negative co-parenting skills into more appropriate co-parenting skills in my next podcast episode. To inquire further about your family law matter, look for a family law attorney who can discuss this process as it relates to your specific situation. In San Diego, California, contact the law offices of Brian A. Victor for more information on your specific family law situation. Thank you very much for listening to the 16th podcast episode, as well as previous episodes, and feel free to contact me at my website at www.brianvictorlaw.com for any suggestions you have regarding topics for future podcast episodes.